Hey everyone, it's Michael Kikle. I hope you're doing well today. I have a video here for another Dragon Ball Z film, possibly the worst of the Dragon Ball Z movies. Despite my lackluster love of things like Tree of Might and Dead Zone, this is one that very much makes me hate it, not just shrug my shoulders, like the first two Dragon Ball films, for example. I don't know what's worse, this or Curse of the Blood Rubies, or Sleeping Princess and Devil's Castle. Can't figure it out. But anyway, today's film is the 1994, few months after the previous film, another Broly film on top of that, Dragon Ball Z, Bio Broly. This is about 47 minutes long, according to IMDb. And I gotta tell you, this one is, it's bad. If you haven't seen it before, you probably don't want to. It is the third out of 4 Broly films, including the Super film. Now, I love the original, as I said a few reviews back, and the previous film, Second Coming, that came out, like I said, the same year, 1994. I don't hate it. It's a very mixed bag, because the first half of the film, it just is not that great. When Broly wakes up, it gets a little bit better. When Gohan shows up, it gets way better. And that film overall is filled with cheating crap to try to make the heroes win. There are plenty of times Trunks, Goten, and Videl should have died in that movie. And then you have this movie here, where it is, surprisingly enough, it's part of Dragon Ball Z that I love, which is the more sci-fi stuff. Think of, Return of Cooler, for example. I love when Dragon Ball goes in that direction. I think there's something, super engaging about it. It kind of gets away from the regular fantasy that is Dragon Ball and its world, and they have the sci-fi stuff that's kind of cool with robots and everything. I really like that when the franchise does that. This movie here really pushes its head into that, but it also starts off mainly as an Android 18 confronting Hercule over the World Tournament championship that she never got paid for. And now she wants her pay, and she's pissed off, and she tells Hercule, hey, you're gonna pay me up or else. Then Hercule gets summoned to go to some kind of, famous place that's also a lab at the same time, where he's supposed to have to defend his championship out there. He assumes it's just going to be regular old dudes that he could probably beat. Hercule is actually probably fairly strong when it comes to fighting humans, if I had to bet. And he's probably a world champion for a reason, not just a sellout, celebrity. I mean, he is that too, but you know what I mean. He could probably hold his own. He gets to this lab and realizes it's a lot of clones and that kind of stuff. And Goten and Trunks happen to be sneaking around, peeking in the window to see what Hercule and 18 were talking about to begin with. And they end up sneaking in the back of the car that Hercule has to get into to go to this secret tournament. I don't know what you'd call it. So 18, Goten, and Trunks are basically the ones going on this particular adventure together. And where I like Goten and Trunks and I love 18 as a character, and I even like Hercule, all of it is misused here. This has to be the most regrettable by-the-team movie that was ever made for Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball as a franchise. It is not good. Nothing about it is really good aside from the animation. It looks beautiful. I love the coloring of it. I think a lot of that stuff looks really good. And once the team shows up there, halfway through this film, they reveal that there is a particular body inside of one of these tubes as a clone that's being grown, and it has a tail, and Goten and Trunks kind of wander over to it flying, and they realize, oh shit, it's Broly, who they encountered in the previous movie in the same damn year. When they panicked, they decided to run away, but Broly ended up breaking out, and he goes on the loose. Now, this is not just regular old Broly. I don't know if this is a situation because he wasn't ready yet as a clone or what, but essentially Broly kind of turns into Venom a little bit. He starts to kind of degenerate, but not entirely. If he wasn't just a ready clone, if let's say that he didn't have enough time as in an oven, basically, to gestate or whatever, if that was the case, then why is he able to maintain this kind of slimy monster form? And the film itself kind of takes up this weird wannabe Universal Monsters mentality too, by the way, with the music and everything. It's kind of neat how it does that, and I will compliment it there, because that's about all I can give it. Broly is not himself. Vic Mignogna, or whatever his name is back doing the voice. Not so much the talking voice, just kind of the grunts and the howling and stuff that, Bio Broly, Venom, whatever it does in this movie. And that's okay. But everything else is bad. I think Trunks and Goten are wasted here, 18 is wasted here, Hercule, for fuck's sake, is wasted here. It is not a good movie. It's very much a filler film. Of course, there is no Goku. I don't think Vegeta was anywhere in sight in this movie. It was very, very much a letdown. I hated it when I saw it back in the day for the first time as a kid. I bought the DVD when this movie came out in America. I think it was like 2006 or something. I watched it and I absolutely hated it. It was the first Dragon Ball Z film I had ever seen, not having seen them all at that time, that I physically, deep down inside of me, hated. Yeah, the animation looks nice. That's it. There are no real fights. It's everybody usually just trying to avoid Broly because he's not only a toxic person, literally, but he also can dissolve your skin and stuff if he touches you. And the sci-fi element is very much used here, and I like that, and I appreciate that, like I said. But most of it's unwatchable. Most of it's boring. Boring is the big word to use here. For a film that's not even a full hour long, it's a boring-ass movie sometimes. But it has nice animation, and that's it. The colors and the animation are all I like here. And aside from our usual heroes involved here, you don't have Gohan coming in to save the day like he had to in Second Coming, the previous movie, which I think was a massive mistake. A massive, massive mistake. I really do not like Bio Broly. I think it's a terrible film. It's probably in the bottom 3, at least bottom 5, of the Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball in general, movies. Which, whenever I rank these out, you will probably see it very early on in the list, because it is pretty terrible, to be honest with you. Like I said, I usually like these sci-fi films. This is one that falls through the cracks in every single way, and there's a lot of reason for that. It's horrible. And the disrespect to Broly himself, and you can argue this is technically not Broly that we had in the first 2 movies because it's a clone, he's terrible. He's absolutely terrible. And I don't think we needed this film, nor do I think we needed the previous film, Second Coming. Now, I'll take Second Coming. I'd watch that 1,000,000 times over this. I saw this twice in my life before now, where I watched it a third time for these reviews, and I've hated it deeply every single time I sat through Bio Broly. Matter of fact, the first time I saw it, I hated it so much that I actually took a couple of weeks, watched it again because I thought maybe I was just in a bad mood when I saw it. Nope. Nope, it was bad. It was just terrible. Anyway, Bio Broly, terrible film. Do not recommend it. Even if you're a hardcore Broly fan, you don't want to watch this. You don't want to do that to yourself, man. It's unbelievably bad. Like I said, between this, Curse of the Blood Rubies, the OG Dragon Ball film, the first one ever, and the second Dragon Ball film ever for the franchise called Sleeping Princess in Devil's Castle, I don't know if I like that more than this. I don't know. It's very debatable for me. I do prefer the Dragon Ball Z era to the Dragon Ball era, so I don't know. I may have to cheat a little bit on my ranking list, but I fucking hate this movie. So anyway, have you seen Bio Broly? What do you think about it? Is it the worst of the 4 Broly films? Let me know all your thoughts about that down below too. Rank them out and everything down there too if you want. Anyway, thank you all for watching, guys. I'll catch you later. God bless you all, and goodbye.